Good evening and welcome to the Planning Commission of the City of Moreno Valley. I now call this meeting to order on March 24th, 2022 at 7:03 p.m. I believe we have a special presentation.
Yes, there's a special presentation this evening of if Commissioner Chen and the Councilmember Delgado would please come forward.
I told Ethan if he that he has to give a speech, so let me go first, and then you're next, okay? He said okay. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am District 2 Councilmember Ed Delgado. Tonight, on behalf of the Mayor, City Council, and residents of Moreno Valley, I welcome you to the Planning Commission and the Matt Chen's ceremonial swearing-in appointment tonight. Mr. Chen has dedicated his life to public service. As a U.S. Marine, a Congressional Wounded Warrior Fellow, a Pony Youth baseball coach, and as a Veterans Benefit representative, Matthew Chen's commitment to and its dedication to our community is undisputed. The responsibility and authority of leadership upon his assignment of the Planning Commissioner establishes a bond of commitment between him and the community, you. Tonight, Matthew's wife, Vivian, their 4 boys, family, and friends are here to witness the oath as the newest member of the Planning Commission. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I am honored to administer the ceremonial oath for Commissioner Chen. Matt, would you please join me at the microphone and raise your right hand? And please repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Matthew Chen,
Solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will defend and support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that you will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
and without any mental reservation
and without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which you are about to enter
upon which I'm about to enter
as Planning Commissioner for the City of Moreno Valley.
as Planning Commissioner for the City of Moreno Valley.
Congratulations, Mr. Chen.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to turn the microphone. Before Ethan speaks, I'm going to let his dad have an opportunity to say a little something. So,
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for allowing me and my family to, have the ceremonial swearing in. And thank you, sir. Thank you, Councilman Delgado, for doing me the honor of swearing me in. Our professional relationship has blossomed over the past year, and I look forward to working with you more in the future. Thank you, Mayor Gutierrez and Council members Delgado and Cabrera for having trust and confidence in my abilities to sit on this commission and represent our city in the best light possible. Thank you, Sean and city staff, for always answering my questions and helping me prepare every week for our upcoming meetings. I know I have a lot of questions, and thank you for answering them all. Thank you to all the people within the city who's welcomed me into this role. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for being here tonight. And lastly, thank you to my wife, Vivian, and my kids, Adrian, Michael, Ethan, and Ryan, for always supporting me in all that I do. Residents of Moreno Valley, I look forward to serving you. I may not always get the vote right in your eyes, but I promise you, I will always do my best to keep in mind the people and the businesses who call Moreno Valley home. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
you guys want to take a couple photos? Can they take a couple photos before we get started?
Sure.
Oh, you did?
We did.
Oh, sure. How come I wasn't invited?
I think you should take one. We can photobomb, guys.
Your notes for tonight? Awesome. Congrats.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
That was really lovely. That was really, really lovely that your family was here. Well, I guess we have to have a meeting now. May we have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Matthew Chen,
Present.
Commissioner Omar Kobian,
Present.
Commissioner Rafael Brugueras,
Here.
Commissioner Jeff Sims,
Here.
Vice Chairperson Alvin DeJournette,
Here.
Chairperson Patricia Corsick.
Present. At this point, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would like to ask our newest member to lead it, Commissioner Chen.
Please rise. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the
republic for which it
stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're now going to move to the approval of the agenda. Have we all looked at it? Do we have a motion and a second, please?
I move.
Commissioner Bergaris makes the motion and seconded by
Second.
Commissioner DeJournette. Are we going to do it by roll call vote or by, okay.
It'll be electronic vote.
Oh, electronic, okay.
Is it not up on the screen? Apologies. Looks like we'll be doing roll call vote.
No problem.
Commissioner Chen,
Yes.
Commissioner Kobian,
Yes.
Commissioner Brugueras,
Yes.
Commissioner Sims,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson DeJournette,
Yes.
Chairperson Corsick.
Yes, the motion carries. We're now going to move to public comments procedure. During the public comment period for each item, as well as during the public comment period for items not on the agenda, each member of the public who has signed up to speak will have a maximum of 3 minutes. Any person wishing to address the commission on any matter, either under the public comment section or scheduled items of public hearings, must fill out a request to speak form available at the door. The completed form must be submitted to the secretary prior to the agenda item being called by the chairperson. In speaking to the commission, members of the public are limited to 3 minutes per person, except for the applicant for entitlement. The commission may establish an overall time limit for comments on a particular agenda item. Members of the public must direct their questions to the chairperson of the commission and not to other members of the commission, the applicant, the staff, or the audience. The next item for public is for public comments on any items not on the agenda, and I believe Sean would like to lead us off with this.
Thank you, Chair Korzik. Just wanted to take a moment to recognize Chris Ormsby. Chris Ormsby has been with the city of Moreno Valley for a number of years, as a serving as a senior planner, as well as in many other roles over the over his many years with the city. I'm gonna leave it to him if he'd like to share a few words and acknowledge how long he's actually been with the city. Thank you.
It's great. Chris?
Thank you, Chair Korzak and members of the Planning Commission. It's been a pleasure working with the commission for roughly 32 years. So it's been a long time. Obviously, I could spend a lot of time talking about my experience and wonderful experience working with the Planning Commission, but you have important business on the agenda, so important to move on from that. But certainly, as I sit back and relax and watch the TV, I look forward to all the good work that the commission does in the future. So it's been great working with all of you. Some of you I had a chance to work with a little more than others, some on the general plan, and others are new, which I wish I'd had the opportunity to work with you, but looks like we have a great commission and look forward to watching all the good work you do, but in a different environment. So thank you all for all your support and all the work you do for the city. And it's been a pleasure serving.
Bravo.
Don't be a stranger. We expect you up here to make comments every so often. Good luck to you. Good luck. Okay, do we have any speakers that have signed up for this?
Not at this time, no.
Not at this time. Okay. The next item on the agenda is non-public hearing items. At this time, we have no items, so we're going to move right on to the public hearing items. Item number 1. The applicant is requesting plot plan approval to allow for the construction of 6 new concrete tilt-up light industrial buildings totaling 196,759 square feet. May we have the staff report, please?
Thank you, Chair Corsick. The presentation this evening will be made by contract planner Louis Lopez.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the Planning Commission. My name is Louis Lopez. I'm a contract planner with the City of Moreno Valley, and I'll go through the slide presentation, and then we'll be available for questions after the slideshow. As you stated, the application before you is review of plot plans for the old 215 Light Industrial Business Park, which proposes 6 new industrial warehouse buildings on 11.2 acres of partially developed land in the business park zone. This also includes the environmental assessment for the project. The subject site is located on the east side of Old 215 Frontage Road, approximately 300 feet south of Bay Avenue. There are 2 portions of the site that front on Bay Avenue. As you can see, the site is irregular in shape. It's made up of 10 parcels that will be consolidated, made up of multiple ownership right now. The site is mostly vacant. However, there is an existing tire shop that will be demolished as part of this project. And there's also a concrete slab on Bay Avenue that will be removed for the project. The American Legion building will be preserved and will be integrated into this project. And you will see that in the site plan and landscape plan exhibits in more detail. Again, the project proposes 196,759 square feet in the business park zone. This is the official zoning map exhibit. As you can see, the project site is within the business park zone. To the north and east of the site, it's also zoned business park, notwithstanding the residential neighborhood that's there, which is a non-conforming land use pattern. There are older strip commercial uses along Old 215, and then to the south are the business flex zone properties on the north side of Alessandro. To the west across the main street is BMP zoning in the city of Riverside, and there are new industrial buildings being developed there as well. This is the site plan exhibit that was submitted with the project. The property will have main access from Old 215 Frontage Road. There are 2 driveways. There is a emergency only driveway on Bay Avenue. As you can see, there are 6 freestanding buildings proposed. They range in size from 23,200 square feet to 49,700 square feet approximately. And the reason for that is that the business park zone limits the maximum size to no more than 50,000 square feet for warehouse buildings. You can see from the site plan that the American Legion building will be incorporated and is enveloped by the development. There will be reciprocal access for the parking needs of the American Legion building, and there is a condition of approval that requires that they maintain a minimum number for their public assembly uses there. All of the parking, it's 223 parking spaces, are common use for the tenants. However, all of the loading docks and truck parking areas do have internal gates, so they will have the ability to have private loading dock and truck parking areas. The project includes perimeter fencing, which are 14-foot high screen walls, and a substantial amount of public off-site improvements. As you can see, there will be new curb, gutter, sidewalk, street widening, and this does include that portion in front of the American Legion building. These are the architectural elevations for the buildings themselves. They are concrete tilt-up construction. They will have a total height of 36 to 41 feet. The main field color of the buildings is an off-white with a light gray horizontal band. And then you can see the vertical scoring, which is darker beige, darker brown accents. They will have metal eyebrow details and divided light windows. And the applicant is Phelan Development, so they have a diamond-shaped logo emblem on some of these little tower elements. This is the conceptual landscape plan that was submitted with the project, and it kind of shows you the 20-foot landscape setback along with the public parkway on Old 215. So you'll see a very nice landscaped buffer along the street, and the front of the American Legion building will be renovated by removing that older parking aisle that's in front of it. I noticed the applicant did submit a material sample board and some artist rendering of the streetscape, so it gives you a better idea of what's being proposed here. So with that, staff is recommending that the Planning Commission approve the project. You would first approve resolution number 2022-13. This approves the initial study, mitigated negative declaration, and the mitigation monitoring and reporting program. And then additionally, you would approve resolution number 2022-14, which would approve the 6 plot plans known as project numbers PEN 21-0105 through 0110. That concludes staff's presentation. We did pass out a memorandum that has 3 comment letters that were attached. These comment letters were received after the Planning Commission agenda was published. One in particular is a withdrawal of the opposition letter filed by Golden State Environmental Justice Alliance. Additionally, we have recommended modifications to 2 of the conditions of approval, and these were negotiated with the applicant. Conditions 14 and 73 of the staff report, and also deletion of conditions 132, 134, and 174. So with that, we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Let's, do the commissioners have any questions of staff? Mr. Sims?
The existing zoning where the property is already zoned in the business park, and it's surrounded already by business park to the east, north, and business flex on the south of it. Just so we fully understand, what uses are with the current zoning does business park allow, and also what is the distinction between business park and business flex zoning?
So business park, and specifically here, what we'd be looking at is light industrial, light warehousing type uses. Business flex also has a commercial component to it as well that is allowed, that is not allowed in the business park zoning designation. That's the major difference between the 2.
Thank you. And then the only other question is when did the city adopt? Is this in an existing specific plan or community plan? How did this designation get set for this area?
The business park in this area has actually been established going back to the previous general plan. It's going back to 2006. This area has been designated business park actually. And I'd have to go back and look at the notes at that time. The one thing that I would note with this area is that it's within a flight safety zone that does prohibit residential uses, which is one of the reasons why, and it also has fairly stringent requirements on occupancy of buildings as well due to the flight safety zone. Therefore, the commercial designations are not as viable for this area, given those restrictions due to the proximity to the runway.
Anyone else?
I have a question, ma'am.
Go ahead.
I went to look at the project and I spoke to Sean yesterday, and I want to again mention it for the record because one of the entrances is on Bay. And Sean made it clear that it is an emergency exit. And emergency to me means fire trucks, ambulance, or an incident that may occur that they need to get out that way. And is it going to be gated?
Yes, it is going to be gated. The gate will actually be located closer to the buildings, not near the street. Based off of their proposal, that allows them to do a taller gate to maintain the similar screening walls as you will see around the truck courts. And yes, the gate will be established in order to prevent vehicles from accessing the site at a regular basis and utilized only for emergency situations by police, fire, or as you noted, when necessary for people, if they cannot exit to Old 215, to exit ultimately to the up to Bay Avenue.
So this is not going to be FedEx, UPS, mailbox, nobody. Strictly emergency.
That is correct.
And is they going to have a lockbox on the side where the fire department can exit the door to open if they needed to?
Those will be mandated by the fire department. That is correct.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Anyone else?
I have a question. 14-foot screen wall, is that going to be wrought iron, CMU? Is there,
I'll have Louis address that.
Yeah, those are typically concrete tilt-up construction, so
Oh.
they'll match the buildings.
that's right. Okay.
Anyone else?
Just
Keep going.
the only other question is the truck traffic associated with this would be off of Old 215 and not going up Bay Avenue. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Go ahead, keep going.
Just the only other, I would assume Old 215 is designated on the city traffic circulation plan as a designated truck, whatever the appropriate designation.
I'll defer to Michael Lloyd for that question.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. It's not identified as a truck route. However, per state code, vehicle code, it would be allowed to function and provide access to trucks because the nearest truck route would be Alessandro. So the way the site is designed, it would function and meet state vehicle code.
Commissioner Chen?
So my question is regards to the parking situation off of Old 215 in between the adult bookstore and American Legion right now. American Legion has a problem with the people parking in their lot. How are we going to ensure that there's that division there? People aren't parking in the American Legion parking lot walking across. Is there any way that?
So ultimately, that requirement that would be a requirement ultimately of the property owner to ensure that they're policing their parking lot, and they can install appropriate signage related to, vehicle code regulations identifying who can and cannot park there, which would then give them the right to tow if they felt that that was necessary.
Thank you.
Anyone else? If not, would the applicant like to come up and make a presentation?
Evening, Chair and Commissioners. Do we also have the PowerPoint available, or should we just do the handouts?
Media, if you wouldn't mind bringing up the applicant's PowerPoint.
Perfect.
Is your microphone on?
Yes. Can you hear me okay? Oh, thank you.
Maybe speak into it a little bit more closely because there's a lot of people in the audience.
Okay. Can everyone hear me okay? Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
Hello, my name is Emily Mandrup. I work for ECM Management. I'm actually a third-party development manager. So we have the owner in the audience as well, just in case there's any questions. But since I've been on the front line, I asked if I could do the presentation tonight. Thank you very much for the thorough staff report. You actually beat me to the punch on most of the items. And I would actually also like to take a minute to thank staff for all of their time and effort. I've been developing for about 20 years in Southern California, and I can say that Moreno Valley is one of the most knowledgeable and thorough cities that we've worked with. So I want to applaud them for their interest in the project and their assistance. So this is a rendering of what we propose to build. You'll see the American Legion building there in the front. As we mentioned, right now where you see the large green tree and yellow tree is where there's current parking. So you'll see that picture a little bit later on, but we're going to do a beautiful landscape beautification. A typical right-of-way, I think originally we had about 3 to 4 feet of landscaping, but we identified there was additional right-of-way on Old 215. So we're actually doing a 20-foot landscape area, which is going to create a very lush, landscape aesthetic to Old 215. Similarly, you saw the outline from before. We also wanted to emphasize we knew it was very important not to have any truck or auto circulation on Bay Avenue. So the driveway to the right is the emergency access. And then you'll see the other little touch point that's on Bay Avenue. That's actually just a setback. So it's about 20 feet back from Bay Avenue. And that will be a 14-foot screen wall with some landscaping in front to mold with the rest of the landscaping in front of there. This is the current condition that we've recently taken over. We're working hard to get this cleaned up and grubbed in the meantime, but this is how we accepted the property. I want to emphasize that Phelan Development and their investor, their JV partner, are both Class A, very responsible investors. They're not, fly by night. They're established. They know focus on quality and sustainability. So although we don't do LEED certification, if you're familiar with that, because of the additional fees of having to get the actual, it might cost $600,000 just to get the sticker on the door, but we do design all of our plans and all of our buildings to LEED standards. So you'll see LED lighting throughout. We actually have 3% skylights, which give natural light during the day. Most of the time, you don't even have to turn on your warehouse lights. Of course, drought-tolerant landscaping and also solar-ready roofs. So if any of our future users will want to do that, we'll be prepared for them. Here's another kind of aerial view, which we thought was fun. You can see all the way to the back. One of the most unique aspects about this campus and what we really like, we also know that truck circulation, of course, is one of the biggest concerns for every city and every citizen. And because the truck courts are pushed back away from the street and screened, it also allows a very long queuing area for them to go. So they can immediately get off the street and queue internally. And so you will not have, backup on Old 215, which I know is a very important aspect to make sure we design to. Again, landscape, we touched on this. Thank you, Luis. And the elevations. Another thing that's very, very important to us is with the community is that we hire union labor and that we try to source locally as much as possible. So you'll see we're estimating at this point about 70% of the project cost will be constructed by union labor, including our grading, asphalt, concrete, reinforcing steel, roof structure, electrical, and landscaping, just to name a few. So know that that is important to us. I believe we might have some participants in the audience that are willing to speak to that as well, and something in the forefront for this owner. Here's the existing condition. As we mentioned, you'll see the parking right in front of the American Legion. So they would come right off 215 and into the parking spot, whereas now that area will be lush and landscape, and all the parking will be off of Old 215 where you come around and park safely within the parking area. So in addition to this, with our emphasis on community improvement, I know that this doesn't necessarily sound very glamorous compared to some other aspects on other projects, but it's a very, very large investment that Phelan Development is doing into the community. I'm sure many of you are aware of some of the water challenges in this area with our Box Springs Municipal Company, but we've been working with them throughout the years, and there was it's not shown on this aerial because it's an older aerial, but to the west side of Old 215, there was actually a brand new industrial complex that was recently built. With that complex, there's a brand new 12-inch line with Western that we originally anticipated tapping into. And it'd be about 70 linear feet to tap into that brand new line to get water into our system. but Box Springs expressed to us that they didn't want us to do that, even though there is some shared water between Western and Box Spring. They want us to install a brand new 12-inch line in front of our project. So instead of 70 linear feet, we're probably going to be installing closer to 2,000 linear feet. So that line is going to go all the way from you can see at the bottom, I wish I had a pointer, where the PB tires. And what that does is it creates an additional loop that is not only going to benefit our project, but literally benefit the entire water system. So Phelan Development is going to be investing around $1 million to $1.5 million for that extra accommodation. Again, even though it would have been really simple just to tap in, their commitment to the community and their commitment to the water, I think is worth mentioning here today. And additionally, the truck route, I just wanted to give a visual to show you the trucks, typically will be coming down south on the freeway at 215, exit Alessandro, turn left into our site. We were also conditioned to build a median on Old 215. So no trucks will be able to turn left on Old 215. It has to be right in, right out. So they're going to be taken up Old 215, right back to the freeway, not through any side streets, not through any residential. We know how that important that is. So I just wanted to give you a visual of that truck route as well. And that's all I have today, unless you have any additional questions based on what I presented.
Okay, I have a question. Are there charging stations for electrical vehicles on the site?
So we are installing conduit for future EV charging. We're not installing the actual chargers yet. So it's very dependent on the business use and how much they want. And if you install them ahead of time on a speculative basis, they're often stolen or vandalized. So we absolutely will have the infrastructure there. Our electrical panels on our sites will be able to accommodate it, but you won't see the actual charger until a tenant decides to use it.
Thank you.
The median that you spoke of going down to the 215 on the west side of the property, is that the entire facial of the project?
The entire
site?
frontage, yes. And actually, it'll go a little bit beyond our frontage. So
That's a good thing.
yeah,
I do know
it'll be
that
landscaped as well, and another aesthetic addition to the street.
the 215, that old 215 could be a scene for
Yeah,
about Moreno Valley.
I can see that, absolutely.
Any other questions? Go ahead. Let's start with,
I have one. It's first great presentation. But it's just on can I revert back to ask a staff a question while we're still at this point, or?
can we sort of ask the applicant the question?
I might be able to answer it.
It's more of a
Oh.
more of a city
Go
question.
ahead and ask it.
There are the residential. I seem to recall a while back we had property. We were looking at I think it was a cannabis project along Paris Boulevard. I can't remember which cross street it was, but it was set back one block. In that, the existing homes in there, there were some existing residential in proximity or adjacent to this cannabis, but the existing land use was for commercial or whatever the underlying, it was already zoned. What's the term that's used when there's what's that terminology?
Legal non-conforming.
Legal non-conforming.
A legally established home that no longer conforms to the zoning designation of the day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Chen, looks like you had a question.
Yes, Chair, thank you. So I assume you guys have been working with the American Legion to incorporate them within your project, correct?
Absolutely.
Have you guys made any promises or anything to that you guys are going to do to assist the American Legion in this project?
Yeah, absolutely. So as discussed, all of the improvements in front of their project, we will be installing and paying for. Additionally, the landscape that's going to go around their site will install that and maintain it in perpetuity. They have an existing flag on their side of their building. We want to make sure that's either maintained or maybe specified. We haven't decided the exact design that's going, but we've agreed to do that as addition to the reciprocal parking that was mentioned in the conditions of approval. So we're actually talking talking about providing more than they currently have to accommodate their after hours or weekend events. So yes, we're talking about all those wonderful things.
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate the fact that parking is going to go from a dangerous pothole parking lot to something more, something safer for our veterans. Of course, they're going to be older in age, and we want to make sure we take care of them. So I appreciate that aspect of this project. Has the developer promised any monetary benefits to the American Legion?
I'm allowed to disclose that. Yep. Can I disclose that? Yes, you can. Okay. Yes, we are absolutely doing a donation. I can't disclose how much, but it's sizable.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And just real quick, while we were talking about the residential, you'll see the landscaping buffer. It's a 10-foot buffer along the entire PL to create just a little bit of extra difference. And then, as we mentioned, there will be a 14-foot screen wall around the entire exterior perimeter to make sure we add a little bit extra as we can.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, then with that, thank you very much. We might come back to you. At this time, we're going to open public testimony. The clerk will call upon each person who has requested to speak. Each member of the public wishing to speak will have a maximum of 3 minutes to speak on this specific agenda item. Do we have any public comments?
We do, Madam Chair. I have 8 speakers signed up to speak.
Okay, great.
First speaker I have is John McDermott.
John, would you come on up?
Well, in public.
That's
But
okay.
my name's John McDermott. I've been a resident of Moreno Valley since 1980 from March Air Force Base, Air Force. I've been a member of the American Legion since 1998. I am presently the commander and have been for the last 2 years. I've been an officer of the post for over 15 years. I love that post. It's a good place. I'd like to say that Phelan, it's been a long road. It's been 2.5 years since we signed an agreement to purchase the land around our building. And it's been a long 2.5 years. But we are in favor of this project. We just have some details. And I look forward to working with Phelan.
Thank you, John. Next speaker, please.
Denise Williams.
Okay, Denise Williams.
Hi, my name's Denise Williams. I'm a member of the community here in Moreno Valley and also an auxiliary member of the Post. And I just wanted to speak in favor of the project and to commend Phelan for the last week and a half. They've really pushed to get here tonight, and they've done a yeoman's job to make sure the Post is taken care of. And I hope they will continue to do that, because while we don't have a signed agreement today, we're well on our way to it. And they've really stood up and been a good partner in development for us. So hopefully we won't get lost in the sea of those tilt-ups, because we look like Stuart Little's little house in there. But I think it's going to be a beautiful community, and it's going to be a beautiful add to our community here in Moreno Valley. So that's all I had to say. Thank you. And thank you, staff, for looking out for us. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Denise. Next speaker, please.
Juan Serrato.
Okay, Juan.
Yes, hello, good evening, Chair and Commissioners. My name is Juan Serrato. I'm a member of the Laborers International Union of North America. I'm in full support of this project. If you approve this project will be extremely beneficial for the community and for our union workers like myself. This project will keep our highly skilled and trained local members, and not to mention our apprentices, working. We have a state-recognized apprenticeship program that trains all our apprentices on every scope of labor's work. So I strongly support this project and urge you to approve. Thank you.
Thank you, Juan. Next speaker.
Bill Quisenberry. Forgive me for the last name. 'em. 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 'em.
Good evening, commissioners and staff. Bill Quisenberry with the Labors. And I just wanted to tag on with what Juan said, my brother of the Labors. This is going to be a skilled and trained workforce produced project. That means the productivity and the safety are going to be optimized. And there will be employment of apprentices for them to get their required on-the-job training to complete their apprenticeship program and become full-fledged journey workers. Know that any of these construction projects are never certain. We never know when or where they will be. And these types of projects are critical for training our workforce and allowing new aspiring construction workers to enter the field, get their training and opportunity for training, to get better, and to provide livelihoods for middle-class working families. And I'm most assured that we will probably have a lot of our members from your city working on this project. So I encourage you to vote yes. And I'd also like to comment Phelan Development for selecting one of our contractors so all of this can happen. But it won't happen unless you vote yes. I urge you to vote yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. Our next speaker, please.
Bob Palomares.
Bob?
Thank you, commissioners. This is a beautiful project here. Seems to be in the right place, and it looks like everybody's coming out a winner. The union, the American Legion, the city, everybody's winning here on this one. And like they said, they train not apprentice here, so that's what we need. Keep them local and train them and keep them busy. And I just want to thank Mr. Brugarius, because every time I look at the Planning Commission, when there's something, he always seems to be in depth into it. He really gets involved. And I appreciate that because it tells the public that you're doing your job. You as far as looking into what's being built here. Everybody has opinions. Sometimes you can get influenced, but he goes into it deep, and I appreciate that. And I know you all do too. You all do a wonderful job, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob. Next speaker, please.
Luis Palomares.
Luis Palomares, community activist. Wow, this is a beautiful, beautiful project. We got to bring it. We got to vote for it to come. I mean, it's going to create jobs. People are going to stay at home. How many jobs? I'm not sure. How long are the jobs going to, how long is it going to take to this building? I don't know that. But wow, the American Legion's going to get a facelift over there, and you're going to give them some money on top of that. I believe the project is, hey, maybe they could do the facelift in the inside too for it, because our veterans deserve the best, the best. So I'm all about this project. It's great. It's in the right place. We can't go wrong. I mean, we couldn't ask for better. It's a great project, and I hope the commissioners vote on this today. And let me see, I have some notes here. Give me a minute here. Union jobs. Okay, union jobs. I just said that. That's great. I think my son-in-law's from this union, but there's different numbers. I don't get how that goes, but he might be here. I don't know, because he travels all over. And if he could bring him home for a year, 6 months, that's great. So I just hope that the commissioners vote for this project, and it's in the right place, and it's the right time for it. And it seems like they crossed all their T's and dotted all their I's. So let's bring it. And as soon as possible. Let's not put it in the back burner. Let's make it happen soon. So let me say, I guess I said everything. I can't believe it. I'd say in this little time I said it all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Luis. Our next speaker, please.
Roy Blackert.
Finally. we're getting a new and even more appropriate development in Edgemont, California, my hometown. Excuse my French, but nothing pisses me off more than to drive down 215 and look to the west and see all the new buildings and the new street on the Riverside side, while the Moreno Valley side, and it's my native land, looks like a garbage dump. This would be the first salvo in a much necessary project that will redevelop that area. It's been far too long. This should have been done back in 1987 when we had $25 million in redevelopment money that went into a jacked up mall and an illegal deal. And you know why, Mr. Sims, that was illegal. The city was started illegally. We can't change the past, but what we can do is learn from the mistakes of the past. And we cannot repeat them in the future. This is what we should be talking about, what we should have been talking about for 30, 40, 50 years in this town, and we have not done. But it's time. You have a good developer that's putting in a good project, and a lot of people look at the big stuff, but I think it's like 70% of all business is small business. This project's going to cater to the small businesses. That's the heart and soul of this country. That's where opportunity starts. We're going to provide that for not only Edgemont, Moreno Valley, but across the Inland Empire. And there's been a lot of negativity in this community, but I'd love to hear one of the days that the antis of this, that, and everything else are going to come up and argue against a project like this. Because the projects like this lead to the bigger projects or make you a successful city. It's all of them put together. Sometimes people don't see that, and it's unfortunate. But I hope this body takes the responsibility seriously, which I know they will, and pass this project. It's long overdue, and the Edgemont community needs it 100%.
Thank you, Mr. Blanker. And I believe we have one more speaker.
Yes, Joanne Steffen.
Okay, well. I think actually the building gods have finally shined down on Moreno Valley, even if it is Edgemont. For one thing, we're going to be getting new infrastructure in there in the water line alone. I mean, she could have tapped in there and just did 70 feet. You heard how many feet she's going to be doing. That's going to benefit the next person that's going to be coming in because they can tie into that. You've got 70% work labor going. That's going to be union labor. It's the right place at the right time. It's zoned properly. They're helping out the vets, like they said. And my God, I have quite a few of those in my family. And, you can't do enough for the veterans. You really can't. And this is just a leg up for this on their end. Everything seems to be right. They're actually not LEED certified, but they go by those standards, which I wish a lot of these buildings did. A lot of them, I don't know why the city never required a lot of that type of thing. You got freeway access that they're not even going to be going down the road. I mean, you build one building like this, and just like that Field of Dreams, build it and the rest will come. So I really don't know why any one of you up there would vote no. Not on this one. Maybe on some of the other ones, it was iffy or whatever. But on this one here, I don't know. If you guys don't vote for it, I'm going to go get drunk. Because I'm going to need it. Because I've been in this city almost 40 years. And this is something that basically in that area, oh my goodness, it's like Roy said, I used to say, and my kids are already bumping 50, 40. I used to take my kids down there if they want to see something that looked like Tijuana. And that's just the gist of it. You've got these old, tired buildings out there that are just sad. I don't even drive over there anymore. That's how sad it is. But with this building there, I would actually take my grandchildren to see this building once it's up. That's how nice it looks. And these people are doing the right thing for the city, for the veterans. And like I said, the building gods are looking down on us. So you guys up there, I hope you guys vote this one in. Either that or it's tequila night.
Thank you, Joanne. And that wraps up our public comment, I believe.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. At this time, would the applicant like to say anything else? Okay, thank you. Do the commissioners have any additional comments before we close this? Once we move into deliberations, we can't ask any more questions.
I have one, ma'am. Are they going to provide security? The owner on the, like a security guard to go out there at night?
Definitely during construction, there will be security around the clock 24/7. And then typically when the tenant comes in, they take over what security is appropriate for their buildings. So they might do cameras or guard. We don't know what they would do, but yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, with that, I'm going to close the public hearing. We're going to move on to deliberations. Would anyone like to begin?
I would.
Go ahead, Mr. Sims.
I could, I remember in August of 1994, I started working at Western Municipal Water District. And one of my first jobs, my boss said, he goes, I want you to go get these bankers boxes. And he gave me about 8 bankers boxes of information about Box Springs Mutual Water Company. And I looked at that and I go, good grief, this is going to take a lot of money. And over the years, the Box Springs, the lack of adequate water infrastructure has impeded any good progress within that whole area over there, which has been to the detriment of our city. And this is, I do applaud the developer to work through this the water issue on this. Western Municipal does provide water for water quality purposes to the Box Springs Mutual Water Company. I'm not so sure at the end of the day you actually will have to build that, because I'd like to still see what kind of water storage requirement when you go through fire to get your building permits. Will you have the adequate fire storage, and you may still need to have a connect to the Western system, but that's a minor detail to work out. But if suffice to say, if the infrastructure is built, I do totally agree. You build it and there will be more development. It has been a long-term, the Achilles heel for development in that whole Edgemont and our westerly entrance into our city off of Alessandro has been held up solely by the Box Springs Mutual Water Company. And I don't understand it. There's been multiple opportunities for them to try to work with the agencies, Eastern Municipal that's on the one side of them, and Western. So anyhow, I'll get off my rant on that. Going onto the shareholders of that company could, if they would work with the other agencies, could probably find out that the whole area, the shareholders' land value would increase dramatically, I would dare say. But anyhow, suffice to say, as far as this project goes, it's in an existing land use that's approved by the city. It's in a business park. It's adjacent to a business flex. The legally non-conforming land use is about it. That's their opportunity to convert their property into higher use consistent with the zoning. So I think this is good for the veterans, to get the American Legion set up. It's set up where the truck traffic's in and out. It doesn't impact any of the existing neighborhood. It's a green light as far as I'm concerned.
Commissioner Chen.
Thank you, Chair Korzik. So as a veteran, I love this project. It's going to give back to our veterans in our community. Riverside County has the 9th largest veteran population in the country. I worked at Riverside National Cemetery, and they're on March. So I've worked with veterans for many, many years. And I think this is a good project. I think that everyone's going to win. As a veteran, I stand with veterans. I stand with American Legion. As a public servant, I stand with creating jobs, not only once the warehouses come, but as the warehouse is being developed. So as a public servant, I stand with the union and I stand with creating jobs from the start. I think this is a great project, something I like to say in my as I tell people what I do now as a commissioner is, it's the right project in the right place. And I think this is the right project in the right place. I stand with the project. I think this is going to be a good one. We have, clean up Moreno Valley every, couple months, but this is going to beautify a large part of Old 215. It's going to give Moreno Valley a better or a facelift. Essentially right there, and it's going to be a good project. So I stand with it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Commissioner Cobian?
Well, what can I say? This the music to my ears. Some of this, the whole presentation, the little pamphlet. I like the 3D modeling to actually visualize how the American Legion sits in amongst these buildings. I think as Joanne said, project like this could start something that's much needed in that area. Hoping they start buying some of the stuff up on the north of that building itself. Hopefully they'll buy most of those plot plans and redevelop that area because it's much needed. I've been in the city for over 30 years, and I remember the old 215 before it became the old 215. It was the 215 before. It's a much needed improvement in that area. I applaud the developer for deciding and doing the right thing by using skilled and trained workforce, like a union labor, what they put on there. I wish there was more developers like that for the city. What else can I say? It looks great. Got my vote.
Commissioner Bergaris, did you want to speak up?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. First, I want to start with the compliment that Bob gave me. I'm only one commissioner. There's 5 others up here. So together, on their behalf, I say thank you, because it takes a lot of us, 7 of us, to make this city what it is. So I'm grateful for my fellow commissioners that are on my left and my right, because together we make this city fantastic to live in. I want to thank the owners and the management team for making the smallest building out of the 6 large ones the most important one in that project, because there's sweat and tears and blood that are in that building. Our soldiers have made it possible for those 6 buildings to be there today because of their sacrifice. So I'm deeply grateful for the owners and the families and the staff to bring life to that building, because I hope that one of those buildings that get built in the future will be some type of retail so people can visit like Skechers. It's a big building, but a lot of people go shopping at that store, and they get to see that building. They get to see the property. They get to see the development of someone's dream. I hope that you find a tenant that will do the same, that will bring the residents and outsiders to visit your project, because it looks great on paper. And I hope when it develops out, it will look just as good. That's important. For Edgemont, that's part of Moreno Valley, because Edgemont is part of Moreno Valley. I'm grateful, really, because I no longer, see, I have what he has, a diagram. we're no longer going to see those 3 couches anymore on the dirt. Because they bought a lot of junk on dirt, and they're willing to clean it up and make this project look great. So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be driving down on the 0215 again, just to go look at that project when it's built out, to see something new, something refreshing. I love it. I love it for the city of Moreno Valley, especially for those that live on Edgemont. I went down Bay and I looked at that exit. I said, oh, what is it going to be? But I'm glad it's a fire exit. It's not going to be used for nothing else but a fire exit, an emergency exit. So I'm grateful for that. Really, it's been real good to see this city grow so much. And Edgemont deserves a chance just like any other district. There are people in that city, in that particular area of that city, that pay taxes also, that deserve upgrades. They do. They work very, very hard. Here's the chance. Someone is going to give them a chance to start up something new. And the water pipeline, there are going to be people that are going to tap onto it. And that's good. So hopefully one day we'll see it all develop towards eucalyptus. I mean, it needs work all the way up to eucalyptus, the whole side. I look forward to seeing that. So I thank him so much for keeping the American Legion, really, the most important building there. It's the American Legion. Thank you.
Well, 1971, my youthful face doesn't really say it, but I've been in Moreno Valley since 1971. This is my 51st year in this city. It warms my heart to see something go in that area. I actually lived on Day Street at Bay. And we used to go around to the Red Barn where they had the auctions, and there was the Helping Hand around there, old school tire. There was a little gun shop around there too. We'd go there and visit. And a lot of people don't know that traffic would go up and down there very, very fast going up the old 215. I'm happy about this median going in for sure. I have some experiences with the traffic going up and down that street. Right, that area coming in off Alessandra is one of Moreno Valley's gateways to come in, and to see that area start to redevelop and to get something new. I mean, as a little boy growing up and seeing it, I'm used to seeing the dirt field, and we go out there and shoot rabbits and do whatever. And now I really like to see that area growing up. The jobs, the water tapping in, it's beautiful. I just thank the developer for taking a chance in that area. There's so many other places that they could have gone, but they're taking a chance here in Moreno Valley. And that's fantastic. So we welcome you, and we thank you, especially with the jobs that created. A lot of people know that Moreno Valley, they're the bedroom community. You know, you came here just to sleep, and that was it. And all the jobs were somewhere else. You had to go somewhere else to go and work. And now that we're creating jobs here in our city, and now that we're building here in our city, it's a wonderful thing. So I'm an absolute yes for the project. I not anything else I can really say that this is where I'm a veteran. I've gone to many posts around, and just see this post come up like this. Wow, this is very, very nice. So thank you.
Thank you. And I'll wrap it up by saying, when I first saw this come up and I saw the location, my heart kind of sank, because all I thought of is, oh my gosh, what's going to happen to the American Legion? But as I read the documents, a lot of the documents, I saw the attention to detail and the real dignity that the American Legion was treated with. It's a beautiful project. I totally love it. Maybe we can get some signage that says "Welcome to Moreno Valley" to that end of town. You know, a nice little gateway that Mr. Sims always talks about. Once this project is approved, it certainly is going to be beautiful for that neighborhood. It's well designed. And I applaud you for all of the work you've done on it. It's a great, great project. So I will vote for it in a positive way. And with that, I think unless anyone has anything else to say, we'll close.
One more thing. I want to acknowledge the union because they're doing something for the young people, allowing them to develop their skills by becoming apprentices and journeymen. That's very important that this project is allowing them to do that for the future men and women so they can have better pay, better benefits, and a retirement. So I applaud the union workers for doing that. God bless you guys. Thank you.
Okay, one more?
One more saver, and I apologize. So
That's okay.
when I did my site visit, I did speak with the commander at the post, and he briefed me that there is a business just north of it that is responsible for much of the illegal activity that happens right there in that parking lot. So I really like this project that's going to come up and hopefully deter the illegal activity that happens right outside the American Legion, because we need to be protecting our veterans. We need to drive that out of the community that's surrounding that area. And I'm hoping that eventually, I'm very pro small business, but hopefully this one business is able to relocate outside of Moreno Valley, and we're able to clean up our community.
Okay, thank you. All right, can I close the deliberations now? All right, we'll do that. At this point, we'll look for a motion and a second. Whoever does the motion, be sure that you include the modifications on the memorandum that came in today. Commissioner Sims looks like he's really eager to do this.
I'll make a motion to the Planning Commission adopt resolution number 2022-13 and also adopt resolution number 2022-14 as amended, consistent with the memorandum dated March 24th from staff.
I second.
Okay, we have a second. Let's have a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Chen,
Yes.
Commissioner Cobian,
Yes.
Commissioner Brugaris,
Yes.
Commissioner Sims.
Yes.
Vice Chairperson DeJournette,
Yes.
Chairperson Corsick.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations. And may we have a staff wrap up, please?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. The action taken by the Planning Commission this evening is an appealable action. Any interested party that would like to file an appeal may do so within 10 days of this action. If an appeal is filed, it must be in writing and directed to the Community Development Director, stating the specific reasons for the appeal, along with the appeal filing fee. If any appeal is received, it will be agendized for a public hearing before the City Council. Thank you.
Thank you. We have no other commission business, so we'll move on to staff comments. Do we have any staff comments?
So I know that Chris has already left, but I did want to thank him again for his 32 years of service with the City of Moreno Valley, and also wanted to welcome Commissioner Chen to his first in-person meeting this evening. And that's all I have. Steve, anything?
Okay.
No, other than I just want to congratulate Commissioner Chen for his appointment, and just want you to know that from my perspective, I think service for the public is a very noble pursuit, and your family should be very, very proud of you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay. Next, we'll have planning commissioner comments. Do any planning commissioners have comments?
I do, ma'am.
Okay.
Tonight is my last meeting. As of tonight, I resigned as a commissioner. My wife and I have plans, and God has moved them in that area. I wish I could have talked about this months ago, but I wasn't sure, but I'm sure now. My wife and I are going to settle down somewhere else. And I promised her when this comes true that I was going to resign. I'm going to miss all of you, really. You've been a great family to me. Even if you disagree, you're still been my friend. I'm never going to forget Moreno Valley. Never. It's my home. But I also have to find a place for myself. I've done so much work for this city that I forgot about me. So now I found me and my wife. So I have to give up my commission. And I'm so proud of my work and the work that I've done with my colleagues. Really, we have moved the city tremendously in the right direction. I just hope that the mayor would appoint like-minded men and women like we have today to move the city forward. I thank the mayor so much for appointing me, giving me the opportunity. Victoria, who's in my heart forever, gave me the opportunity to serve. You never know who you are until you come forward and allow the hand of God to move you for the greater good of human beings. And I'm glad to see so much done. So God bless you all. If I don't see you, I'll always remember. That's all that counts to me, that I can remember. Thank God for technology. I can always go back to the websites and see you guys live. It's a beautiful thing for being old. So God bless you all. God bless the city of Moreno Valley, our commissioners, staff, the mayor, the council, and all the beautiful residents. God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Vickers. Okay, next we have another commissioner that has a comment to make. Tonight is also my last meeting. I am resigning the commission as of April 1st, not for the same reasons as Commissioner Bergaris, but I'm an artist. I've been working for many years as a painter, and during COVID, I did a lot of really good marketing. So suddenly my career has really, really blown up. I am scheduled for 4 major art shows this year. I'm looking at doing some in Europe maybe next year. I have a coloring book of the national parks that I produced that's in its second printing since October. So I need the time to focus on my art career and doing more paintings. And it's just the amount of time it takes to be a commissioner, the readings and all of that, that I know I could not give it my full attention at this point. I have served for 7 years. I had 1 year left, but I think it's better for the city to have somebody sitting here that can truly grasp what's going on. And we all know how many readings and things we have to do. So I know I don't have time, but I do wish you well. And I certainly, in the 7 years, have never seen a finer staff to work for. Our packets have always been really complete, really easy to understand. And I do want to really compliment the staff that we have worked with over the years. So this is my last night also. So I don't think any of us expected 2 of us tonight, but well, here we go. What can I say? So there are obviously openings on the Planning Commission. And thank you all very much. It's been a joy for 7 years. Does anyone have anything? Oh gosh, you're new. You can't resign tonight.
You took my joke. That's what I was-
I'm so sorry.
Chair Korzik, Commissioner Bergaris, I met you one time, so I appreciate serving on the board with you on the commission, and good luck in your future endeavors. If I can switch gears and just do well, first off, thank you staff for all you've done to prepare us for this meeting. But to switch gears, if I can just give a little news update. On March 18th, an MV-22 Osprey crashed in Norway, killing 4 Marines. With everything going on in the world, it wasn't major headlines. But the VMM 261, they are stationed or out of Marine Corps Air Station New River in Camp Lejeune, right outside Camp Lejeune. Well, I served my last 3.5 years in the Marine Corps. I served with VMM 266, who shared a hangar with VMM 261. Marine Corps is, as you know, the smallest of all the branches, but the aviation squadrons are even smaller. So it's not uncommon to know someone when a plane goes down. A couple years ago, there was a trip from Camp Lejeune going down to Mississippi, and I believe it was an Osprey as well. And I served with a Marine who died on that plane crash as well. When the news broke, the media wasn't releasing names because families weren't informed yet, but a Facebook post caught my eye from one of my buddies, Sergeant Joey McGinnis, who I had the privilege of serving with in 2016 while on deployment. It turns out, well, let me read off their names. We have Captain Ross Reynolds, Captain Matthew Tom Kowitz, Gunnery Sergeant James Speedy, and Corporal Jacob Moore. It turns out Gunnery Sergeant Speedy was a groomsman for my buddy I served with, and that's how close the Marine Corps is. So I just wanted to publicly let Sergeant McGinnis know that prayers are with him, prayers are with the rest of the families. I ask everyone watching, everyone in the audience, thank a veteran for their sacrifice. Hug your loved ones. You never know when your time is up. I just wanted to take an opportunity to encourage everyone to thank a veteran in our community, because it's a selfless job. Being away from your family for months, years, it could take a toll. So I appreciate every veteran serving, and I appreciate everyone here tonight.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Sims.
Yeah,
You
well,
resigning?
let's make a trifecta. To your chagrin, I'm still not quitting. So there you go.
How many years have you been on the commission?
It's
You've been on nine.
nine long time. But I just want to say, Raphael and Patricia, it's been great working with you. And I do truly wish you guys both the best. It's been good. Sometimes we don't always agree, but that's what the democracy is all about. So
right.
and for the deliberation. So best wishes to both of you.
Thank you.
And it's been nice.
Thank you. Can we adjourn the meeting, please? Okay. No more news? Okay. Anyways, I am going to adjourn this evening, the meeting at 8:19 to the next meeting of April 14th, 2022, at which time you also will have your election of officers. That will be on the agenda, so you need to think about that. Thank you all very much.